Hello. Hello, police. Yeah, what's the problem, sir? We just drove down our farm track. Yeah. Go and feed our pheasants. We come across a Range Rover with 3 people in it. Yeah. It appears that they're dead. I don't know what's happening. Blood in the motor all over them.
And welcome back to a new video on the Essex Boys case. As always, if you are enjoying the content, please do give the video a thumbs up. And if you're interested in the Essex Boys case, or simply true crime in general, don't forget to hit the subscribe button below. Now before I start this video, it's important for me to mention that the author does not seek to discredit any previous accounts or versions of events leading up to the gruesome murders. He merely offers an interesting alternative scenario to be considered. The rest of the week in the Special Branch office at Romford was much like the one in most police stations up and down the country. Business as usual. But there was something in the air unsaid. But something had just changed. The internal rantings and ravings of the Essex Boys on Bill's watch escalated. The following Monday, he did not have the recordings of another boozy Sunday lunch to listen to. Raquel's nightclub was hit the hardest. Most of the other venues up and down the country felt it too. Barely a month before Christmas, and the place was deserted. The police were about, a visual presence. Uniformed officers and marked cars were up and down most of the venues in the south-east of England. Every freelance journalist and photographer was looking for something along with the mainstream news teams. Sergeant Paul Green had met with Tony Tucker at a quiet country pub on the Friday afternoon. He had given Tony the bad news. Tony wasn't shocked. He tried to play it down. It was a storm in a teacup, and things would soon settle down. Green had gone along with Tucker's view. He was sure Tony was right. In truth, neither of them could believe this would go away as quickly as Tony needed it to. Tony Tucker and his associates were squarely in the frame as the ultimate suppliers of the ecstasy pill which had killed the girl. Green told him in no uncertain terms he was under a blanket of surveillance. But what are they actually saying, Paul? Look, what they're saying is you control the gear that's sold in the club. Raquel's is your gaff and the pills have come from you, or your firm anyway. It's your firm, so you're up there, mate. Nothing I can do for you right now. What about Pat and Craig? All of you, mate. You're all under observation, and it's not going away quickly. They want someone's head on a plate for this. You need to change your phones and be careful. When you get a new number, give me a missed call. You're the only one who's got this number, so I'll know it's you. Look, mate. We are doing the observation. I'm actually meant to be on you right now with my mate, but he's shagging this bird, so I'm covering for him. Otherwise, I'll have to be careful when I see you. Fuck me, so you're meant to be on me right now? Really? It's that slag on the door. He's put us up, ain't he? Tucker was ranting. Well, it ain't helped, mate, but to be honest, it wasn't him. Look, it was pretty common knowledge on the street anyway. It was your gaff, so it ain't rocket science for us lot. The thing is, this is bad, mate. Real bad. And we have to be seen to be doing something. I'm sorry, Tone, but you'll just have to keep your head down and it will pass in a couple of weeks. You ain't got any of those pills around you, have you, mate? Green was now being a concerned friend and earning his money. No, of course I fucking ain't. Good. Look, if we had something solid, we'd have been through your front door. They ain't got anything other than a suspicion. Now they're going to try and put something together, get a decent sized collar and then pat themselves on the back. All you've got to do is keep your head down for a few weeks. Then it'll be back to normal. Trust me. Green somehow didn't sound too convincing. Yeah, okay. So they've got nothing? No raid planned? Nothing? No, mate, nothing. Even we ain't that stupid. What's the point of raiding the club? It'll be fucking empty tonight for sure. But I reckon they'll be looking to kick a few doors in, so make sure your boys ain't got no gear at home. Green laughed. Tucker didn't. Yeah, okay, I guess it ain't that funny, Tone. Well, bloody pills, I know I'm not touching them again. A lot safer with a Coke. At least you know what you're taking and it wears off in no time. Take a pill, you're on it for hours and you've got no idea what they've put in it. Sergeant Green was now waffling. He hadn't anything else to add to his information of any relevance, and he knew it. Yeah, you're right, mate. Fucking kids all off their heads these days anyway. You sure they ain't got anything on me? If they did, mate, we'd have been in honest. They're just guessing. It's just that you're the governor in the town. They've got to do something. Bill went through the recordings a couple of times. Basildon CID were upping the game, and Tony Tucker and his crew were under surveillance, for what good it would do. But at least they were doing something, even if it was a case of shutting the door after the horse had bolted. Getting the sign-off for the overtime involved wouldn't have been difficult for the governor at Basildon. No one was going to say it wasn't time the police got some results. The recreational drug market had overnight become a serious problem to the nation. Basildon was at the centre of the known universe for killer drugs. Everyone in the country held their breath, awaiting the next fatality. It was now a serious concern for everyone, parents and dealers alike, all for their own reasons, selfish or not. It now mattered to so many. Tony Tucker's mobile phone rang. "Hello, mate?" The polite, dulcet tone belayed the unwavering seriousness and absolute finality of the words spoken by the caller. "Hello, mate?" Repeated, while the mind went into warp drive. Tony had looked at the phone for a full minute. He didn't know the number. Probably a fucking phone box. He should have guessed the Loughton area code. It's where he'd called from last time. He should have tossed the fucking phone when he'd left Porky Green. He had told Craig to grab half a dozen new burner phones. Craig should have dropped Tony a couple yesterday. He should have tossed the fucking handset Friday. Still, this guy would get a number for him easily enough. He couldn't avoid this guy. So what? He'd answered the call. Fuck him. It was first thing Sunday fucking morning. Tony was having his fucking breakfast and now his appetite was ruined. The call was always going to be what you didn't want it to be. "It's me. About that bit you've got. Heard what you told the boys. They said they will swallow the bit of overs for late, no problem. But it doesn't suit anymore, so they'll have it back this week, please. You told them that was okay?" "Yeah, sure, mate." That was the end of the call. Tony should have said something different, but he didn't. He took the easy route, and he had just added to his growing pile of shit. 2 weeks ago, it had felt good to tip them bollocks, and tell them they could have their fucking $100,000 back if it didn't suit. The wanker had just cornered him with his own fucking move. Tony put a call into Pat. Too early on a Sunday for Pat, and he got no answer. Bill made a note on the file. This problem was of a more serious concern to Tucker and his firm than the news he'd gotten 2 days earlier from Porky Green. Clive had seen the problems the Essex boys would now be facing. He had moved tactically and very smoothly. Tucker had shot his mouth off when he was in a strong position. Clive had kept quiet, not committed either way. Now he'd moved tactically, and it was devastating. Clive knew what was happening to Tucker's business with all that was going on. He was probably suffering a serious downturn in his own returns from the places he had under control. Tucker could well be in the shit, so he had taken the opportunity to squeeze. It was Tucker's bravado which had handed it to him on a plate. He had played the benevolent man, swallowing the fine for late payment of interest, but taken what he now really wanted. Tucker had offered to return the money and left the offer open, so he had seized the opportunity. It had been said in front of people who would stand up. It had been said in front of Tucker's crew as well. Tucker wouldn't want to argue whether he had said it. It would be a ridiculous thing to say and make him look incredibly weak. Tucker now had to pull up $100,000 this week for the Canning Town firm. This was the last thing he needed, with his world going to shit and the old Bill all over him. Bill could see some real problems developing for Tucker, Tate and the rest of the outfit. They were already starting to argue amongst themselves. Now they had a possible run-in developing with Clive if they didn't put the money back and soon. Tate had been at home on the Sunday morning. He had had a late one the Saturday as usual. His wife wasn't there, so probably some old tart or maybe two. It didn't usually matter to Bill what went on in Tate's marriage. It was just a mess. The avenues to destabilise the Essex boys were coming thick and fast now. What a difference a single event can make. Bill had been disillusioned just over a week ago. The gang had been on their uppers and looking like they'd be hard to move. Now it was collapsing around them. Bill had to ask himself if they'd make it to Christmas the way they were going. He wondered what the gang could do to save themselves. Tony Tucker wasn't so pessimistic, but he knew he needed something and something fast to stem the tide. All he'd needed was no bad luck. You've been listening to the book Once Upon a Time in Essex. This book is available to purchase online at Amazon and other online book retailers. Many thanks for joining me for this video. Very shortly you'll be able to see some other videos from the channel, including the Essex Boys playlist, which has all of the videos concerning this case in one convenient folder. If you like this video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. I look forward to seeing you all again in the next video. Take care. Cheers.